And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. Wednesdays here on the program, we'd like to welcome a volunteer from the farm women's group CommonGround into the studio.
CommonGround is a group of farm women who want to be a resource for consumers who want to know more about how their food is grown. And joining us today, we have Karol Swan from the York area. Always nice to see you.
Oh, it's always fun to be here. It's just a delight, so it's always exciting.
Great. So how's everything in York?
Really good. They haven't started irrigating yet, but I imagine they'll probably crank them up this weekend.
Okay, well, we want to talk about meat today. A lot of people are grilling this time of year, and you have worked for years in the USDA meat grading industry, so tell us about the grades of beef.
Okay, what I would do is grade carcass beef at one of our packing plants, big packing plants here in Nebraska. The grades are prime, choice, and select. This is for your younger fed beef. And what they do is every carcass is looked at by a grader and determined. And the carcass is chilled 30 to 36 hours anymore to get the marbling at the maximum. And it's ribbed between the 12th and 13th rib, so we look at an actual ribeye, look at the marbling, and determine how much it is, whether it qualifies for prime, choice, or select. And nationwide, there's like 2 to 5% grade prime, which isn't a whole lot, and it's kind of been that way for a long time. But it's like 80% choice, and that has increased year after year. And that just attests to our genetic selection and the quality feedstuffs that our producers give our cattle and the health of our cattle, that they've just been able to grow faster, grow more, have more marbling, and this is a lot through genetic selection and quality feed stuff. So it's kudos to our feeders for doing this. So most everything you're going to find in the store almost these days is going to be choice. A lot of your prime goes to the high-end restaurants on the East Coast particularly, and some high-end little boutique type stores that sell to high-end customers. But the choice, it's just phenomenal how the producers have been able to increase this.
Excellent. Yeah, so when you hear about prime rib, is prime rib prime?
It's not prime. It can be choice or select. And the way they cook it and where it comes from in the animal, it's going to be tender and tasty. Pretty much no matter what grade it is. But it's called a trade name or an industry name for the cut.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they can call it prime rib without it being actually prime. But it's still an excellent, tasty cut, even though it might be choice or select.
So Karol, let's say, you know, when we go to the grocery stores, we'll see the different meat packaged in different ways. Maybe talk about those differences.
Okay, yeah, some stores, we're fortunate in Lincoln to have such wonderful stores and wonderful meat managers. Our meat managers they're wonderful.
They know their stuff.
People really need to utilize them. But some stores you'll go in and the tray pack, the individual steak or roast is on a little tray. Now some of these can be processed and packaged off-site, and they go through a warehouse and they come into the grocery store in a box, all packed, and all they do is just put it into the tray, into the meat counter. And now some stores will actually cut all their meat and wrap it and put it in the meat counter. Some stores will do both. So when you go in, sometimes if you turn it over, you'll see, you know, if the store is one name, you'll see another name of a packer on the back, and then you can tell maybe, and you can also ask. And sometimes, like the one store, one area has these tray packs that would come out of boxes that were produced someplace else, and the other area would be tray packs done in the store. And I think the one store does exclusively their own cutting and wrapping.
So if you have any questions, just
ask your meat manager. They're wonderful, wonderful resources.
Good things to know there.
All right, Karol, thank you very much. And you're going to stick around?
Yes, I am.
We always love that on Wednesdays.
Yeah, we can find out a little more about beef, and we're going to learn a recipe as well. So that is great.